Yeah. So with one-pointed attention, we should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the person of God with a protective view. Now, going forward. Now, these verses, we discussed about the importance of occupation of a human being, and then Shukadeva Goswami is telling that finally the intention of all work that is done is to develop attraction towards this hearing. And they're saying so one should, and everything that is done in Samsiddhir Haritoshanam is Svanushthitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. All prescribed duties, everything. The intent is to actually please the Supreme Lord. Therefore, one should constantly hear about. So there is not much emphasis here with respect to on the occupational duty itself. So the occupational duty is just there. Vritti is there because we have to just keep the body and soul together. But the focus really is to engage in Shravanam and Kirtanam. Okay, so let's move forward. Yaddanudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhanam Chindanti kovidastasya kona kuryat katharatim. With sword in hand, intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message? Now he is giving a reason. Why should people be engaged in remembering constantly? Because by doing so, a person is he cuts through the binding knots of karma. So it means all the karma phala is destroyed by hearing. So that is why Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam charanam rajam tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. So you're saying just by the hearing process, the karma phala is all destroyed. Then also karma is also destroyed. Because one is karma phala, which is from previous karma. And then we also don't create new karma. Because whatever we do will be akarma, which means if it is devotional service, then it doesn't have any karmic reactions. So both happen as we do Shravanam. So this is very significant. Prabhupada in the purport, he says, so it's about this knot. So Prabhupada says, he's describing, what is this knot? Because cut through the binding knots of reactionary work. What is this knot? The contact with the spiritual spark with the material elements creates a knot, bandhana, which must be cut if one wants to be liberated from the actions and reactions of footy work. The contact of spiritual spark with material elements creates a knot. This knot is in the heart, and this is otherwise called false ego. This is the knot. And because of this false ego, a person ends up doing work for his or her own enjoyment, which is karma and then karma phala. So this knot has to be cut. This false ego has to be cut, and real ego has to be established. So Prabhupada is saying, liberation means freedom from the cycle of reactionary work. Jivan Mukta Sauchate. Jivan Mukta. Who is a Jivan Mukta? Even while he is here, if one does not engage in fruitive activities for sense gratification, he is liberated. He is liberated because he is not creating more karma. He is liberated. Of course, like the example of the fan taking some time to switch off, to stop rotating after we switch off the, put out the switch. So previous karma phala will have some effect for some time, but at least new karma is not created. So sometimes, it's very complicated to understand what is new karma, what is old karma phala, because previous karma phala also, it comes as happiness and suffering, and associated with that, there will also be actions. So, but we can't very clearly differentiate between previous karma phala and karma. But as we become more purified, we can start recognizing, saying that this is karma phala, this is karma, and so on. So liberation means becoming free from creating new karma. This liberation automatically follows for one who constantly remembers the transcendental pastimes of personality of Godhead. See, this is the beauty about Krishna consciousness. Actually, we are not expected to know big philosophy. We should know basic philosophy. What is basic philosophy? Sambandha Gnana. I am part and parcel of Krishna. I am spirit soul. And my relationship with him is that I have to serve him. This is actually the only knowledge that is required. And if we Tivra Bhakti, Vrena Bhakti Yogena, if we do Tivra Bhakti, one-pointed devotional service, that is good enough. We don't need to know big philosophy, but we can definitely remember the pastimes of the Lord because they are so madhura and they're so beautiful. They're so sweet. They're so attractive. So simply by remembering Krishna's pastimes, transcendental pastimes of Vrindavan. Also, I mean, if others are attracted to other forms of the Lord, like Vamana, Varaha, etc., we can remember those pastimes also. By just simply remembering, liberation happens. So constantly so the main point here is how are we utilizing our time? If we are utilizing our time in fruitive activities, meaning activities for sense gratification, I'm not saying in doing work, because work doesn't have to be binding all the time. If you are working for Krishna, if you are working for maintaining a family which is Krishna conscious and only utilizing as much money for maintenance and using the rest of the money for serving Krishna, then it's not work at all, it is bhakti, right? But somebody who's working for sense gratification, okay, I want to earn this much money, I want to build a big house, I want to get this watch, I want to get this car, all these kind of material desires, for such person, such work is binding. But so we have to decide whether I'm going to spend time doing those things or whether I'm going to spend time doing Shravanam and Mananam, hearing and remembering the Lord's pastimes. And how much ever time we devote for whatever activity, based on that we will get the result. If you are investing too much time in material activities, we'll get material results. And we'll be bound here. If we spend our time in spiritual activities, we'll get Krishna. It's a very simple thing. No rocket science here. Why this results in liberation? Because all the activities of the Supreme Lord are transcendental to the modes of material nature. So automatically we will get liberated. And also they're all attractive spiritual activities. And therefore, constant association with the spiritual activities of Supreme Lord gradually spiritualizes the conditioned soul and ultimately severs the knot of material bondage. So simply by this Shravanam, simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, simply by that Shravanam we become spiritualized. Meaning today we have material senses, material mind, everything, but all of that starts becoming spiritualized. Actually, which is why for a devotee there is nothing like death, because death is for the material body and a pure devotee's body is completely spiritualized. So technically there's nothing like death, but just so that, because otherwise people around will get bewildered. Lord just makes the devotee externally leave his external covering, the body, that's all. But actually it's not like death of a normal person, because his body is already spiritualized. By simply hearing the pastimes of the Lord. So as much as we can, if we are addicted to, literally the word should be addicted. If you're addicted to hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita from pure devotees, then our life will become perfect. There's no question. So this is how the knot will get severed. Then Prabhupada also says technically, what is karma yoga? Karma overcoated with devotional service is called karma yoga. What does this mean? Somebody has propensity to do work, meaning they want to work. They can't give up work because they like to work. I'm not saying they have a need to work. I'm saying they like to work. So they have more inclination for karma than bhakti. So they engage more in karma and little time they use for bhakti. This is karma yoga. And bhakti is more like a overcoat, as in it's there. That's it, right? But more time is focus is on karma. Similarly, Somebody who's going behind empirical knowledge, overcoated with devotional service is Gnana Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, pure Bhakti Yoga, Shuddha Bhakti is what we should be aiming, is free of such karma and gnana. Only that can endow one with liberation. So only Shuddha Bhakti can give us liberation, Prabhupada is saying. And also about one transcendental loving service of the Lord. Because even jnana and karma processes by themselves cannot give anything transcendental. They have to have a tinge of bhakti, yoga, connection with the Lord. Only then even those processes can achieve their results. But we should aim for pure bhakti. And so just by the Shravanam process, please remember why we are giving so much, why Prabhupada gives so much emphasis to hearing, why Bhagavatam is giving so much emphasis to hearing. Because it is the simplest and the most effective way to get us out of this entanglement. So as much Shravanam, more we are addicted, and the more guaranteed that we will achieve perfection in this life. Okay. 1-2-16. Shushusho Shraddhadanasya Vasudeva Katha Ruchihi Syan Mahatsevaya Vipra Punyatirtan Nishevanat Katha Ruchihi. Oh, twice born sages. Now somebody might ask, how I don't have desire, I don't have ruchi, taste for hearing. What should I do? Answer is in this verse. By serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vice. Vice means mistakes, dosha. Great service is done. What is that service? One, by doing that service, what happens? One gains affinity, ruchi, for hearing the message of Vasudeva. Vasudeva Katha Ruchihi. So if we don't have taste for hearing, then we should serve pure devotees. Mahat Sevaya. This is Mahat Sevaya. This is great service. And by that great service, Punya Vasudeva Katha Ruchi is developed. Beautiful Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada is saying in the purport, servants of God come to propagate God consciousness, and intelligent people, please hear this. These are the statements, like I keep saying, these are the gems. These are what had like significant impact on my thought process. Intelligent people. So I thought I was intelligent, which was ego. But then I realized that intelligent people should cooperate with servants of God. So here it is not saying intelligent people should show off their intelligence. Intelligent people should cooperate with them in every respect. By serving the servant of God, one can please God more than directly serving the Lord. So what we should do? We should cooperate with pure devotees. What do you mean by cooperate? That whatever they have told, whatever their desire, we should try to implement that. So we know, right? So by pleasing the Yasya Prasada Bhagavad Prasado, Yasya Prasadan Nagati Kutopi. This also people say Yasya Prasadan. No. Second line is Yasya Prasadan. Yasya Aprasadan. So it becomes Yasya Prasadan. Nagati Kutopi. So this taking up the mission of Srila Prabhupada, of our Guru Maharaj, that is serving that mission. That is what intelligent people need to do. Which is why Diksha Khale Bhakta Kare Atma Samarpan. So we have to surrender ourselves to the Guru, saying that now I offer myself, Kaya, body, mind, words, everything in your service. How can I engage in serving you? Without knowing that, there is no point in taking initiation. Most people actually, they don't even know what their Guru Maharaj's mission goal is, how he's trying to serve Srila Prabhupada. And they have no idea or inclination or desire to serve his mission. So then what is the point in initiation? Of course, this is for non-missionary oriented disciples. We should be missionary oriented. We should work towards the mission of Guru and Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, we'll just become Gosthyanandi. Like just our own bhajana and bhajananandi, our own bhajana, and then we are happy with that. That doesn't please Guru and Krishna as much as those who are out there to preach the mission. So Lord is more pleased when he sees that his servants are properly respected, because the servants risk everything for the service of the Lord and so are very dear to the Lord. That is why Vaishnava aparadha is the most dangerous, the first of the 10 aparadhas, sadhu ninda. So it is most dangerous because these pure Vaishnavas are very, very dear to the Lord. And he is very pleased when we serve his servants and we show proper respect to them. So this is the importance of sadhu sangha, real sadhu sangha. This is sadhu sangha. By serving, this is beautiful. Please note this. This is just like 5 words. And it's last part, but it's so powerful. By serving the servants, one gradually gets their qualities. So beautiful. By serving the servants, one gradually gets their qualities. So they are pure devotees. So by serving them, we eventually become pure devotees. So it's a guaranteed process. The process is guaranteed. It has to work. So we have to simply serve pure devotees. Guru, Hari Guru Vaishnavas. And Prabhupada is saying the eagerness to hear about God is the first qualification of a devotee eligible for entering the kingdom of God. If we don't have eagerness to hear, then we are not ready to go back home, back to Godhead. Which means basically we don't want to know about Krishna. If we don't want to know about Krishna, then what will we go there and do? We have to know Krishna to be able to serve him. We have to know what his likes are, what his dislikes are. We have to understand him as a person. Without doing all this, how will we go? So we have to have eagerness to hear. If we are not able to read, we should at least hear. We should ask somebody, hey, can you please explain? Can you please describe? That is very, very important. So importance of serving pure devotees. By serving pure devotees, we will develop an affinity to hear about Krishna. And by this desire to hear, we automatically become liberated and we also achieve transcendental loving service. So by Shravanam, we also get prema. And actually, Shravanam and Kirtanam, we are doing japa. But why japa itself can give us perfection? Then why Shravanam? Because Shravanam helps us to understand Krishna, develop an understanding of his qualities, his likes, dislikes, his nature, etc. How he deals with devotees, so that we can also develop appropriate feelings towards him. So Krishna then becomes a person. Then we develop feelings towards Krishna as a person. All this happens by Shravanam. Of course, if we are doing chanting without offenses, then Krishna gives Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mam Upayantite. But that is very, very difficult for conditioned souls. Without Shravanam, just focusing on perfect japa is very, very difficult, almost impossible. So either way, whether we are educated, not educated, intelligent, non-intelligent, doesn't matter. We have to hear about Krishna. So now we've covered verse 16. Now from here onwards is glories of hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Till here it is hearing about messages of Vasudeva, but here more emphasis now is given for hearing. Actually, last verse also is about hearing only, but here there is more emphasis. Okay. Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantastho Hyabhadrani Vidunoti Surutsatam. Now, how does Shravanam work? These verses actually describe this. Till now it said, okay, it is important here, develop affinity. If you don't have affinity, serve pure devotees. Now, what happens if you hear? Sri Krishna, the person of Godhead, who is the Paramatma in everyone's heart and benefactor of the truthful devotee. Truthful devotee. If we are cheater devotee, then he is not going to benefit us. We have to be truthful. So if we are fallen, then we should admit that we are fallen. Not that we are fallen, but we portray a big picture of some, advanced devotee. And that hypocrisy Krishna will not like. Otherwise, he benefits the truthful devotee. Okay, truthful devotee says, I'm fallen. I'm not able to follow these. And not just lip service. I'm trying, but I'm not able to. Krishna, please give me mercy. Krishna will give mercy. But somebody can, but they're not even trying. Then Krishna knows, okay, Baba, thoda, put some effort. Let's see. Till then Krishna is not going to give his mercy. He wants to see some effort from our side. But a truthful devotee is not like that. He's not a cheater. Truthful devotee sincerely tries, and sincerely, because he doesn't have the ability, possibly he fails, and he prays to Krishna for mercy, and then Krishna benedicts such a devotee. So Krishna, who is the benefactor, who is in everyone's heart, what does he do? He cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So just hearing the messages of Krishna itself is virtuous, is punya karya. Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. Shravana and Kirtana is punya. It is punya karya. But what does this punya give? It doesn't give material happiness. Of course, we get happiness, but it's not material. But what does it do? Along with being a punya karya, it cleanses desire for material enjoyment. So which means automatically we'll develop vairagya. Vairagya means not running away from things. Yukta vairagya, utilizing everything for Krishna service. But we will not have any desire to enjoy these objects for our own sense gratification. So beautiful. Simply by hearing. Because we are truthful, we are trying, Krishna will cleanse our desire. So there is no way that somebody is doing Shravanam and still has material desires. Not possible. There will be remnants of material desires, vasanas, deep-rooted anarthas from previous lives. It will take some time to go. That's all. That too, if we are not hanging on to it. If you want to hang on to an anartha, then obviously we will not let go of it. But if we are wanting to let go of our anarthas, many anarthas will get destroyed very quickly if you have this if you have this urge to hear. Some might take some time, but it will go. Because Krishna is in control, cleansing the desire. So when we are in Krishna's hands, what is the worry? So Shravanam itself is a punya karya, but along with that, it cleanses the desire for material enjoyment. So which means that, trying to see things on the material platform, trying to enjoy our wealth, our relations, etc., etc., doesn't happen for devotees who hear attentively, who are truthful, who are sincere, who develop the urge to hear. So powerful. See, the power of Shravanam, proper Shravanam, automatically we'll develop this, desire for sense enjoyment is gone. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, very beautiful. Messages of the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna are non-different from him. Why are they so powerful? Because they're non-different from him. Whenever, therefore, offenseless hearing and glorification of God are undertaken, it is to be understood that Lord Krishna is present there in the form of transcendental sound, which is as powerful as the Lord personally. Now, this is also very difficult to understand. The sound, transcendental sound, Krishna is present in the form of transcendental sound, which means the transcendental sound itself is Krishna. That is why when we chant Hare Krishna, Hare and Krishna, Hare is Radharani, Krishna is Krishna. So Krishna is present in the name Krishna. Radharani is present in the name Hare. They are non-different. This itself takes us years to understand this concept. That is why, when we are chanting Hare Krishna, being inattentive is seriously offensive because we are taking Radha and Krishna's names, which are non-different from them. But our mind is not attentive. We don't have any love, affection. We are just simply mechanically taking their names and our minds are engaged in some stupid, unimportant material thoughts. Because they're non-different. So same thing with Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, because this is non-different from Krishna, simply associating with the sound, hearing the sound, repeating the sound, automatically spiritualizes. Whether we understand this process or not is not important, but the important part is offenseless. Like when we are chanting, because we are doing nama aparadha, inattention is one of the aparadhas in chanting. That is why we are not seeing immediate impact. Otherwise, the nama is so powerful. We'll discuss this in 6th canto, Ajamila. Nama is super powerful, right? But because we are doing offensive chanting, Ajamila took the name without offense. It was nama bhasa. There are 3 levels in chanting. Nama aparadha, nama bhasa, shuddha nama. He didn't take shuddha nama, but he didn't take nama aparadha also. He took nama bhasa. So he got liberated, but because then subsequently he did bhakti, he went to Vaikuntha. So this Shravanam, this sound, transcendental sound of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is non-different from Krishna. And it is as powerful as the Lord. So it cleanses, because being in touch with Krishna is super pure, so we become pure. So Krishna's sound, Krishna's name is super pure, we become pure. Krishna's pastimes are super pure, so we become pure. So everything about Krishna is pure, so we become pure. Simple. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshastaka declares clearly that the holy name of the Lord has all the potencies of the Lord. Nam Namakari Bhudani Sarva Shaktis. And it has the same potency. There's no rigid fixture of time. Anyone can chant anywhere. Lord is so kind to us that he can present before us. He can be present before us personally in the form of transcendental sound. But unfortunately, we have no taste for hearing and glorifying Lord's name and activities. So to develop this taste, we have to serve the pure devotee. The Lord is reciprocally respondent to his devotees. When he sees that the devotee is completely sincere in getting admittance to the transcendental service of the Lord and has thus become eager to hear about him, Lord acts from within the devotee in such a way that the devotee may easily go back to him. Dadami buddhi yogam tamena mam upyantite. So the Lord will act from within the heart of the devotee. The Lord is more anxious to take us back than we desire. Most of us do not desire at all to go back to Godhead. Prabhupada is writing this in the purport. Most of us do not desire to go back to Godhead. Only a very few men want to go back to Godhead. But anyone who desires to go back to Godhead, Sri Krishna helps in all respects. So I asked this in many classes, saying that how many of us want to go back to Godhead? Eventually everybody lifts their hands. Then I asked next question, are you ready to go back to Godhead now? Then people are thinking, and I say, what does that mean? That means if death happens now, are you ready? That means if you have to give up your favorite, whatever is your favorite material thing, drop it right now and go back to Krishna. Are we ready? So we can give lip service to this, saying that I would desire to go back. But like Prabhupada is saying, most of us do not desire at all. Meaning, okay, baad mein dekhenge. But anyone who desires, Krishna helps in all respects. This is guaranteed. Krishna helps in all respects. Krishna makes sure that we will not get stuck. Krishna makes sure that we don't get stuck here. We will have so many impediments, so many, that is like bhakta vigna vinashaka. Bhakti vigna vinashaka, anything you can say. So whatever is vigna vinashaka, whatever vignas are there, obstacles are there, he will take it away. Prabhupada is also saying, one cannot enter into the kingdom of God unless one is perfectly cleared of all sins. The material sins are product of our desires to lord it over material nature. It is very difficult to get rid of such desires. Women and wealth are very difficult problems for the devotees making progress on the path back to God. So desires are very difficult to get rid of. And with material desires, we can't go back to Krishna. By the grace of the Lord, a devotee engaged in hearing gets sufficient strength to defend himself from the state of disturbances, all anarthas. So powerful purport. See, all the secrets are there in Prabhupada's purport. Just see how powerful. I mean, I just picked up 5 points from the purports, of this words. So we can very clearly understand that simply we have to engage in offenseless hearing and then glorification, because the taste will come to us only when we glorify. If we simply hear, that is also good. But when we try to glorify, then we say, oh, I don't remember that pastime. Oh, I should read again. Right? So then we develop more eagerness. And if we don't have eagerness at all, then we should serve pure devotees, because they will have eagerness. Like we read, when we serve devotees, we get their qualities. Because they have eagerness, we develop eagerness. Okay. Now, the famous verse which we chant every day, every Bhagavatam. Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Naistiki, nishtha. Sadhu shraddha tata sadhu sangha bhajana kriya anartha nivriti nishtha. 4th stage. So what happens? By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, not when we get time. Regular means daily, ideally. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. What is troublesome to the heart? Anarthas. Almost completely destroyed. This we can understand. There's a book called Madhurya Kadambini, which we will read after we finish Bhagavatam. It tells us how we make progress through the different stages of sadhana bhakti. So in that it says that anarthas don't go away till prema. So anarthas remain little. So here in this stage of nishtha, almost completely destroyed, which means that those anarthas will not give us trouble now. Till we reach nishtha, it is called anishtita bhakti. Anishtita, which means that there is no nishtha, there is no fixedness. We'll do sometime we have suddenly so much enthusiasm, next time we are like not interested at all. This is anishtita bhakti. But we have to come to nishta bhakti. So by regular attendance in Bhagavatam and serving pure devotee, all these anarthas are almost destroyed. And loving service is established as an irrevocable fact. So Nishta, we come to the stage of Nishta Prema Bhakti. Why Prabhupada is saying loving service? Because mechanical service should have been done by these anarthas. By the time we get over anarthas, mechanical devotional service should have stopped. So then we should be doing service with some love and affection for Krishna. So that loving service now becomes fixed, irrevocable. Irrevocable means irrespective of what happens in the life of the devotee, he will not give up bhakti. So we have to come to this nishtha. Many times it takes us many years to get past these anarthas. But the secret to get past anarthas is serious hearing. Very powerful. Like I said, if somebody really wants to experience this, please read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam 2 to 3 hours a day, every day. Read Bhāgavatam 2 to 3 hours, you will understand what I'm saying. Very powerful. It literally like pulls us out. Pulls all the anarthas out. That's powerful. Okay, here is the remedy. Prabhupada saying, here is the remedy for eliminating all anarthas, which are considered to be obstacles in the path of real self-realization. So many devotees, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do this, I have this anartha, that anartha. What is the solution? Prabhupada is saying, here is the remedy for eliminating all anarthas. Remedy is association of Bhagavatas. There are 2 types of Bhagavatas, book Bhagavata, devotee Bhagavata. Both are competent remedies. And both of them, or either of them, can be good enough to eliminate the obstacles. A devotee Bhagavata is as good as the book Bhagavata because the devotee Bhagavata leads his life in terms of the book Bhagavata. And the book Bhagavata is full of information about personality of Godhead and his pure devotees who are also Bhagavatas. Bhagavata book and person are identical. So this is the solution to get over anarthas. So getting over anarthas is not difficult. It is difficult only if we don't engage in this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And if we do Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, anarthas will get destroyed. The devotee Bhagavata is a direct representative of Bhagavan. So by pleasing the devotee Bhagavata, one can receive the benefit of the book Bhagavata. Very nice. Automatically, by serving devotee Bhagavata, we will get the benefit of book Bhagavata, meaning that Buddhi is revealed. Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Human reason fails to understand how by serving devotee Bhagavata or the book Bhagavata, one gets gradual promotion on the path of devotion. Actually, these are facts, as explained by Srila Narada Deva, who happened to be a maidservant son. So the whole Narada Muni's life is a proof for this. How serving pure devotees, what are the effect? Just by he was a son of a maidservant, he got opportunity to serve sages during Chaturmasya, and he becomes Narada. He gains that position just by serving them. So we will read that future beautiful verses. So the more progress is made in devotional service under the guidance of Bhagavatas, the more one becomes fixed in transcendental loving service. So the messages of book Bhagavata have to be received from the devotee Bhagavata. So that is why we have to read Prabhupada's purports. Then it will have powerful impact. Okay. Tada rajastam abhava kamalobhadayascha ye chetayetayarana vidham sthitam sattve prasidati. Tada. What happens once somebody becomes fixed like this, nishtha bhakti? What happens? Tada rajastamo bhavaha. As soon as this nishtha is established in the heart, effects of modes of rajas and tamas. What are these effects? Such as lust, desire, and hankering disappear from the heart. So if we still have lust, if we still have desire, and we have a hankering, that means that we have not come to the stage of nishtha. Because when we come to the stage of nishtha, rajas and tamas can't stop having impact on us. So then the devotee is established in goodness, and he becomes completely happy. This is Brahma Bhuta. So by just hearing one comes to Nishtha, when one comes to Nishtha, Rajas and Tamas stop having their impact, and the devotee is in Brahma Bhuta, he is happy. Prabhupada says, this state of existence, a living being in his normal constitutional position is fully satisfied in spiritual bliss. This state of existence is called Brahma Bhuta or Atmananda, state of self-satisfaction. This self-satisfaction is not like the satisfaction of the inactive fool. The inactive fool is in the state of foolish ignorance, whereas the self-satisfied Atmananda is transcendental to the material state of existence. This stage of perfection is attained as soon as one is fixed in Nishtha. So beautiful. The soul's activity becomes adulterated in contact with matter, and as such, the diseased activities are expressed in the form of lust, desire, hankering, inactivity, foolishness, and sleep. So these are the effects of Rajas and Tamas. Rajas is lust, desire, hankering. Tamas is inactivity, foolishness, sleep. The effect of devotion service becomes manifest by complete elimination of these effects of passion and ignorance. The devotee is fixed at once in the mode of goodness, and he makes further progress to rise to the position of Vasudeva or unmixed Sattva, Shuddha Sattva, Vasudeva Sattva. Only in Shuddha Sattva can one always see Krishna face to face by dint of pure affection for the Lord. Again, another beautiful statement. A devotee is neither foolish nor passionate. So that means that if we are foolish or passionate, then we understand that we are not a devotee. Harmful, foolish, and passionate cannot be devotees. However, they may advertise themselves as devotees by outward dress. Now we can very clearly assess our own situation by hearing these, by reading these purports. So we should understand simply by this hearing process, Rajas and Tamas stop having impact, lust, hankering, greed, inactivity, foolishness, sleep, all of these will go off. And we'll be established in goodness and we'll be completely happy. Simply by the Shravanam process. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah bhagavad tattva vignanam mukta sangasya jayate. Evam prasanna manaso brahma bhuta prasannatma. Both are same. Evam, thus established in, this is unalloyed goodness, Shuddha Sattva. The man whose mind has been enlivened by contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of personality of Godhead in the stage of Mukta Sangha, liberation from material association. So now he is free from material association. So he gains positive scientific knowledge of Lord. What does it mean? Bhagavat Tattva Vignana. Scientific knowledge means that he will experience state of Vignana, realized knowledge. What you are saying, scientific knowledge or realized knowledge. Okay, purport. In the Bhagavad Gita 7.3, it is said that Bhaunam Janmanam Ante Gnanaman Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudarlabhaha. Mostly men are conducted by modes of passion and ignorance, and thus they are engaged always in lust, desire, hankering. Out of many such man-like animals, is actually a man who knows the responsibility of human life and thus tries to make life perfect by following prescribed duties. And out of many thousands of such persons who thus attained success, how success? By following Varnashrama, one may know scientifically about the personality of God. It's not very easy to come to this state. But the process of Bhakti Yoga is so powerful that even unqualified people like me can come to this state. This is very, very important. So getting over all these difficulties, all these lower modes, simply constant hearing. As soon as one understands that he has nothing to do with matter, he at once seizes his material hankerings and becomes enlivened. But we don't understand this. Prabhupada is saying a very simplistically put statement. Once one understands, then he ceases material hankerings. That means that we don't understand this at all. We don't understand that we are not connected to this matter. How much ever we hear, somebody was asking Prabhupada, why do you keep saying I'm not body, I'm not, I'm spirit soul? And Prabhupada said, because you don't understand. You simply hear it, but you don't understand it. So we don't understand that we are not connected to matter. Otherwise, why are we having so much of attachment to things connected with this material world? So this getting free from this material anchorings is possible when one is above the modes of passion and ignorance, which means that when one becomes a Brahmana. And we automatically come to this stage of Brahmana by the Shravana process. And this is also important for those who want Brahminical initiation. One cannot be a devotee unless one at least qualifies as a Brahmana, or not Brahminical initiation. At least it said that one cannot become a Vaishnava without first being a Brahmana. The devotee is already a Brahmana, but that is not the end of it. As referred to above, such a Brahmana has to become a Vaishnava. Pure Vaishnava is a liberated soul and is transcendental even to the position of Brahmana. In the material stage, even a Brahmana is also conditioned state. Okay. So we have to come to this pure state, Shuddha Sattva, because only then we can get realization of Krishna. So to come to Shuddha Sattva, we have to come to Nishtha. To come to Nishtha, we have to do Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Okay. Vidyate hridaya granthis chidyante sarva samshayaha Kshiyante chasya karmani drishta evatmanishvare. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced. Now we talk about the knot, which is false ego. Knot is pierced and all misgivings are cut to pieces. What are the misgivings? That I am this body, this material, I am connected to this material body is mine, or I am this material body. All these misgivings are cut to pieces. Chain of fruitive actions, karma bandhana, is terminated when one sees the self as master. So when one gets Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana, when one realizes Supreme Lord, he also realizes Atma. So he realizes Atma and Paramatma. So he sees himself as Atma, not his body, not as body. So this is a stage of realization. And then for such a person, literally, he will see only the Atma in every body. Atma and Paramatma in every body. Okay. Prabhupada says attaining scientific knowledge of personality of Godhead means seeing one's own self simultaneously. So we should see both Atma and Paramatma. We will see at this stage. Okay. So Lord takes charge of illuminating the heart of the devotee, engaged in service in transcendental love. So devotee cannot remain in darkness. So yeah, somebody might say, okay, devotee is not very philosophical, not very learned. Doesn't matter. If he's engaged in pure devotional service, then the Lord will give him the required knowledge. Yeah, this knot is called ahankara. Yeah, so we will get over that. We will get over that misunderstanding, saying that I am this matter, or I belong to this matter, or I am this material body. So we clearly and very fixed in a fixed way, we understand that I am not this body, I am spirit. So then we also see Paramatma. Okay. Ato vai ko kavayo nityam bhaktim paramaya muda vasudeve bhagavati kurvanti atma prasadanim. Certainly, therefore, since time immemorial, all transcendentalists have been rendering devotional service to the Lord, to Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, with great delight, because such devotional service is enlivening to the self. Enlivening means it brings the self to life. Currently, the self is literally like dead. Self means the Atma. Atma is in passive mode today. Atma is in receiving mode. Atma is engaged mode. Is engaged in his body, and simply it is just going with the flow. Okay, body is in the control of material nature. Based on previous karma, there are actions. Based on the modes we are under the control, we will create new. Based on previous actions, there are reactions. Based on the modes of nature, we do new actions. And this is like one machine. It's just going on. And Atma is literally like dead, meaning no activity. But when one comes to devotional service, the Atma becomes enlivened. It gets life. Atma is there's nothing like birth or death for Atma, but literally it is, it is inactive. And when it engages in devotional service, it actually starts engaging in activities. Meaning, this is what is food for the soul. So that is why transcendentalists have been doing devotional service, because it enlivens param drishtva nivartate. So the devotee experiences higher taste by engaging in activities of bhakti. Okay, so we will stop here for today. Yeah. So super verses highlighting. Hopefully we are all inspired to do more hearing, more reading by reading these verses. This is sure shot way for us to make super fast progress. It is anyway sure shot way to make progress, but this is sure shot way to make super fast progress. So if we are in hurry, then do more Shravanam. Okay. We'll stop here. When Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. If anybody has any questions, I can try to answer.